Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to make a sci-fi photo using Affinity Photo. So alright, let's get started.
Alright, awesome. Hope you guys been doing okay, been safe during COVID. So yeah, let's get started. Basically the first thing we want to do is create a new stack, and that is going to allow us to import multiple images. And when we do this, it's just going to auto align all the images and all the files so that we don't have to manually do it. Saves a lot of time, but I'm still going to manually do it anyways to double check that they're aligned. Okay, so here I am, and I'm just lowering the opacity on each layer. Make sure to rasterize the top stack so you can start editing the actual individual images. And you'll start to notice that I am really indecisive, but this is crucial. What I'm zooming in right now, that is the selection brush. That is magic when you are masking. If you do not use this, I would say you're crazy. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's really important. And right there, I hit the refine button. I think I'll zoom in later to go over what the refine button does. But basically, it just allows for easier masking with your abstraction of the subject. Here I am just doing the same thing with the brush. Boom, there it is, the refine. That is crucial. It's gonna pull up that red background by default, and you'll just kind of zoom in and go along the edge of the subject and just brush where there's an error, where there's like the selection line is too far, and it'll recalculate where the selection should be. As you can see, I'm just kind of going along my head and the outer part to fix it. And here I had no legs, so I just did a simple copy and paste from the raster picture pixel layer, and fix that and make sure it looks like I had a leg. So I created a mask here and just kind of mask out my I painted over, and I think black, or maybe it's white, takes away the image without being destructive, so you can repaint it back in case you paint too much. Ow. Here I am just using the stock tab, and I'm just getting a surgical mask. I couldn't find one for this picture, which is crazy because we work I have like a billion of these. Yeah, so I'm missing that, and literally the one thing I need, the one time I need it, I don't have it, so it's crazy. So I'm just lowering the opacity and trying to align it to my face. I'm about to use the mesh tool to kind of further sell it that it's attached to my face. It's kind of an advanced tool, but basically it works off a point node kind of system. If you ever use the pen tool, you'll be really familiar with these. You just click along the line to create a new mesh, and it kind of point, and it kind of makes a grid, and you can kind of individually move each layer. I feel like Chocolate Rain, where I have to keep moving away to breathe because the mic, but it doesn't matter. It can be the ASMR, I guess. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do here is use that same mask and make sure to rasterize and just form it to each face. Since it's a profile, I'm going to just kind of get rid of the back part of the mask. I'll probably mask it out to just be quick and dirty. It didn't come with the loops on the mask on the image I used, so I'm just going to use the pen tool to draw some loops on there. Just really fast, really dirty. It gets the point across. It doesn't have to be clean. I mean, if you're doing it for a client, obviously I guess you can spend more time, but this is a fun project. So the thing I wanted to note too, when you're taking this picture, make sure that you kind of keep the same lighting, or to keep the lighting consistent, because you can edit and paint in the shadows, but it's kind of a nightmare. And so just make sure the lighting doesn't change too much. Have a tripod. That's the easiest way to do it. Take a picture on there on the tripod, especially if you're a beginner, and just move around the table, do different poses, lay on the table like I did right here. It's in one shot pretty much. And right here I'm adding a gradient map. If you don't know about these, I can do a video about them if you want to learn more. But basically they just kind of cover over the whole image and swap out the colors and the mids, low, and I want to say high tones. I'm not sure what those are called. I always forget. But whatever color you pick, it's gonna swap it out. It's basically like a filter. Okay, so here's kind of more of an advanced thing. I'm doing the blending options because I had painted in a white light on the top to kind of intensify, to make it more dramatic, and I just want it to blend in a certain area of the space. I don't want it to be all over the place. You could just mask it out or just be not so lazy and paint right the first time. And I'm just kind of going around everybody and just painting black and kind of darkening it, trying to make a more dramatic scene. Here I couldn't find guts, so I just did ground beef, and I just kind of copied it, made it look somewhat nice, and I'm gonna shade it. The thing to know is when you import anything, you want to make sure that it fits in the scene, because it's based off different lighting. It's off a different light source. There's shadows coming from different places, so you're gonna have to paint it in and make sure it blends right, or has a different white balance and stuff like that. All right, so here's where I started getting serious. So I'm about to add a exposure level, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm just darkening around the edges, kind of make it more focused on the center. Ideally, I guess you want to do the rule of thirds, where it's like off to the left or off to the right, but I want it to be a center. That's just me. I don't know. It's a personal thing. This is just simple pixel layer. Just draw it at 51 to kind of do area 51. Added a recolor adjustment to it, and it gives you a lot of flexibility with the recolor adjustment. So you can pay whatever color you want and then change it on the fly without being destructive. And here I go to add the exposure adjustment to the layer. I'm going to clip it inside the layer so it won't leave the layer and affect the surrounding layers. And I'm going to make it super dark, and I'm just going to mask out the exposure and just paint out the regions that I think the light would hit. And since the light's coming from above, I'm just going to paint the top and leave the bottom darker. I'm not going to do a pure black, and the reason for that is because almost nothing is pure black unless you're just in a cave or something. So you want to keep it so you don't have loss of detail, which is ironic because there's overexposed regions in this shot. So I didn't go over the background, but I just imported a tile, like a metal background, and then just masked around it. And here I am using a white textured brush. It's included in Affinity Photo, and I'm just doing it on the top layer to add kind of like particles. Here I am again using the exposure adjustment and mask it into my guy to where it can't leave, darkened it a lot, and then just paint where I think the light would hit. It's really messy, it's really dirty, but it helps kind of blend it. And honestly, I really didn't need to do this, but I think it looks more like Photoshop-y, I guess, like a poster. So yeah, that's the look we're going for. Because technically, since the lighting is already nicely set up, I don't really have to do this. But yeah, I just imported alien texture. That's what I typed in the stock side. And here I am just kind of playing with the blending of the layer below settings because I'm lazy. But you can just mask that out. You don't have to do all that. Cool. And I'm just painting around it as far as like masking it out. I'm going to shade it. You always got to like import it. As soon as you import it, you you got to mask it, put it in the right position, and then boom, shade it. So you can help blend it to the overall composition. And if it's a different color, then you want to do the white balance adjustment. But the cheat with a gradient map over everything, or just black and white over everything, you really don't have to worry about too much with blending it, because since there's no color, it won't stand out. So you can just forget about like white balance adjustment, or like hue saturation adjustment, or anything like that. Cool. So here I'm just adding clouds, kind of like a smoky, foggy effect. And having specialty brushes really helps save time. You can do this with just the normal brushes, but I believe I had bought these, looks like from Frankentoon, the nature pack, and it helps a lot with painting like trees and bushes, and they have one for clouds like this one to kind of help sell it, that you're in like a foggy thing. So here I am, switching over to the develop persona, and what you want to do is make sure to group everything, then copy it, and then rasterize it, and hide the group, and then on the pixel layer, the top pixel layer, which is going to be this right here, this is where you start doing the develop. And this is just the final touch-ups, changing the contrast, the brightness, the color balance and stuff like that, and going from there. So this model, I'm gonna have to look up the link for it. It's from TurboSquid. I can't find it, so if I should find it later, but I just googled this on TurboSquid, sorry, and I imported it, and we're gonna use this. But I will credit the artist if you want to buy that 3D model. I just use the image because it looks okay. I'm not gonna sell this or anything, so I just think it's cool to credit artists for their work. It's a great model, so give that guy a shout out. I'll leave it in the description, I guess, if I can find it. And so yeah, on top of this, I'm just adding like a glow, like bluish glow on top of that, and just kind of coming out of that little specimen container to make it look more spacey and sci-fi and stuff. And then I thought about black and white. I never really know. I'm really indecisive. I really am. I'm just, because I think I end up just like throwing this out and just doing like a completely different thing. But text tool, boom, laboratory. There you go, easy. You guys know this. Come on, you guys can do it. But just to show you, if you just follow this, oh, here we go. Look, well, there it was. This is a guy who did it. But if you guys just follow these instructions, it just kind of shows how easy something like this is. It's not that hard, and just have fun with it. Don't be as creative as you can. I'm sure you'll be more creative than me. And you guys are awesome. You can do it. It's not hard. Just take some time to get used to. And if you're using Photoshop and you're following along, it's pretty much the same thing. It really is. I mean, they both have blending options and all that other stuff. So, just be creative, have an idea, and it's really just a lot of masking. It's just a lot of masking, blending, a lot of masking, blending. And it's like, that's pretty much all it is, And and then I added a drop shadow on that, and that's just with I think a color overlay of black, which I could have just changed. And then on the effects panel, I did the a Gaussian blur on it, but you can just do that on the effect panel. And boom, another color overlay. And you can change the color of anything. And if you just wanted to change like a part, do the cover overlay adjustment, and then just mask it out. And then here's the final. Cool, awesome. Hope you guys like it. Hope the tutorial taught you something. I know it's really fast. I know it's a lot of information, but if this was useful to you, I'm gonna try to post more. I'll leave in the comments if you'd like to see a certain style. I do movie posters. I can do anything just about. So let me know what you want to see. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.